Marcus, and welcome everybody. It's a fantastic crowd. It's so refreshing to see some new faces as well as some faces that I'm quite familiar with. It really is, for me, not just refreshing, but it just makes me excited that we've got you so willing to be involved and to want this street to be as successful as it can be. Let me give you a little bit of context to why you're here tonight, and it's not just because there's a tour down under and just because we're ripping up the road and causing chaos. Some years ago, 4 years ago, in fact 5 years ago, Council determined that this street needed to have some attention that was a bit different to what had been currently going on. We asked the state to drop the speed limit because we thought people are just zooming through. It's a commuter road, people are going from Gawler to Onkaparinga. They don't care about us or our kids or our shops, they're just zooming through. They didn't listen. We said the surface of the road is absolute rubbish. It's falling apart, it needs to be resurfaced. They didn't listen. We decided we'd keep pushing it, and about three to 3.5 years ago, they came back and said, yeah, we will resurface the road. I said, okay, great, we got ready for it. We started at Fitzroy Terrace, we pulled it through to St Helens Park as stage one. Now, you've all recognised that bit's looking pretty smart. Then we said it's time for stage two. At that point, that was going to come up to Town Hall. The Main Street Traders Association approached us and said, for goodness sakes, don't just put the curbs and gutters back where they've always been. We want to do something different. We want some outdoor dining. We want a different approach to the street. We don't want to have people zooming through from Gawler to Oloughlin. We want to try something, some outdoor dining, some different types of treatments along the street. Okay, so we went back to the design board and we workshopped with people, we consulted with people, what does that mean? And I can tell you what's happened as a result is what you see evolving out here. But the fantastic thing that often goes unsaid, this is the first time that state government has allowed this type of design to be done on an arterial road anywhere in the state. Okay, so be very careful to understand that. We don't own the bitumen bit, it's owned by the state government. We own the footpaths, curbs and footpaths up to your front of your businesses. They have allowed us to have a lot more freedom with this street in order to create a really different feel for our village heart in the centre of Prospect. Now, it hasn't been without its challenges. If you want to know about those, talk to the guy over there with almost no hair left. No, he's still got some. Justin has been living this thing, and there's all sorts of things underground and overhead and whatever that cause problems about where you can do what. So for every square inch of what you see out there, very little of it has been arbitrary. It has been, really made to fit the constraints of what we're faced with. But it is a first in South Australia. It will look like a plaza rather than a road. We're really hoping that that still looks the case after they put the new bitumen through in about 3 or 4 weeks' time. We'll start to do that work. So we're really pleased that we not only got the traders to push us to do something different, we're really pleased that we were able to push state government to allow something different, and what you're seeing out there is a really high quality footpath enhancement that provides outdoor dining, public art, trees for the first time in the section and landscaping. We think it'll be a rip-roaring success, but what we think is only part of the equation. It's so great to see you here tonight because I know you want to make it as good as it can possibly be for yourselves, because that is what, that's why you're in business on Prospect Road. The other stuff, if you question what Council's commitment is to Prospect Road, well, okay, you could question it. But that out there, that's $4 million worth of work in total with state government resurfacing their bit of the bitumen. A lot of money, big council commitment. The biggest state grant we've ever received is for that work outside there. Getting the national broadband network to come into Prospect. It's the first place in Adelaide to get broadband other than Wollonga. Okay? That didn't happen overnight. Steve Harrison worked for 2.5 years to secure that. And that's for, not the benefit of Steve, it's for the benefit of everybody in this room. Getting the tour down under, another couple of years' work and hanging off the back of the work we've done out here. So if you want to look at Council's commitment to making this the most successful retail strip it can be, well, our commitment is there, pegged on the board, really rock solid, and we want to make it work. But of course, it's only part of the equation. Okay? What matters is what you choose to do with that opportunity that the council and the ratepayers have chosen to provide to the traders on Prospect Road. Now, we're not going to get it perfect, okay? I think what we're doing is nurturing an opportunity and providing the birth of something. And these workshops are part of us saying to you, we want to hand that baby over back to you to do what you can possibly do with it. I'd love to see everyone saying, I want to have an umbrella and chairs and tables outside of my restaurant. What do I need to do to make that happen? I want to see people having stands out there with, the florist to whack a trolley out there selling flowers. I want hairdressers to be cutting people's hair on the footpath. Right? I want people to be hanging, dresses from the awnings. I want this to be a really different feel. And those people, if they can still work through from Gawler through to Oloughlin, coming through at 50, because that's the other thing we push for, and down to 40, they still want to do that. They're choosing to do it because they want to see what's happening next or what's happening today in that quirky place called Prospect, because that's what we think it can be. Okay, so when I say I'm excited, it's because we've been able to make so much happen, and it's because so many of you have turned up here today. And we've had a number of apologies as well. It's not like we've got a full turnout today. And there'll be a number of people who come here who haven't lived through the roadworks. They'll choose to lease those empty shops. Okay, they will choose to do that. And they'll be here in the next year or 2 or 3. The rezoning is more evidence that council really wants to see this work. And we need your input in that to make that work. And that's coming out for consultation over the next 4 to 6 weeks. Sam will be able to, wake your hand up, Sam. Sam will be able to help you understand that. And the parking ratios will be part of that process to revisit that stuff and really test, for those who say parking's a problem, what are your solutions? Because wherever there is a solution, somebody has to pay for the solution. And that, of course, is a debate that council has all the time. So we want your input in what the solution to that really is. So our vision for the street is that it's a really vibrant place, particularly this 2 to 4 blocks right in the centre here. We want it to be a really walkable place, so people park in one spot and they walk up and down the street and enjoy the ambience, a bit like a Jetty Road kind of experience. You don't go to Jetty Road for one shop, you park somewhere and you stroll up and down, you go to the beach or whatever. We haven't got a beach, but we want people to walk this strip here. We want it to be a livable strip, so the zoning changes allow for apartments to be built above shops. The reason for that is not just because property owners, we want you to make money. The reason is good shops, good cafes, good restaurants need good customers. And the more people we can have living right in the heart, it provides more trade for your businesses, and also it enlivens the place and it makes it safer because there's more people with eyes on the street 24/7. Okay? Retail streets that have no one living on them aren't the best places to be after 10 o'clock at night because there's no life at all. Our intention is to have people living on top of business premises as soon as we can find one of you who wants to do that, because we're not going to do that, okay? That's the opportunity we're providing. So in closing, success on this strip here is a two-way street. We're providing what we believe is an opportunity. We want you to help us shape that opportunity. We're not going to resolve from having a regulatory framework. It can't be a free-for-all. The community expects there to be some sort of framework. Help us get that framework right, help us solve those parking issues, and help realise the opportunities that are in front of you. We understand that the market at the moment is not the market it was 4 years ago. Okay? I don't expect people are going to mob me on the way out of the room to say, I want to build a 5-storey Watson. We don't have that expectation. What we're doing is laying the groundwork and getting the framework ready so that when the market does recover, and it will, we're ready to take that opportunity and convert it and help you convert it. Okay, so I know there'll be lots of comments today about how things are not so good at the moment. You're no orphans. Okay, this is the most fickle retail environment I think the country's seen in 20 years or so. It's pretty, that's everywhere in Australia. It's not just Prospect Road. What can we do to be different, unique, a visitable location, and what can we do to set up a framework for the next 2 to 4 years? That's where we're really at. So in closing, these workshops, I commend the staff for organising this. I implore that you get involved, you tell us what you think. I ask you to come back to the 2nd, 3rd and 4th one. I ask you to get on your bike with a TDU and rip the most you can out of that opportunity. I really enjoy seeing so many of you here tonight. I have to apologise, I have to skedaddle tonight. I've got another engagement. But I hope to hear from the staff that we've got acres of butcher's paper written on. There are some fantastic ideas and people are as enthusiastic as I am about what this street can be. Thank you again for coming and look forward to your involvement. Thank you. Thanks, Marcus.